what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy it. It's also setting the holiday mood is it is college football awards time. And Jake sent this in the text, so go ahead and get this chart ready to go. But it's a chart that definitely does hit visually.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, all it's revealing is information comparing Jayden Daniels, Michael Penix, and Bo Nix. And it is so like what we've been saying all year long, right? If they want to win, they have to make them, or if Jayden Daniels wants to win because of losses, he wants to follow in the footsteps of RG3 and Tim Tebow and others, he had to make himself into a statistical outlier. And for much of the year, he was not. But now that we are through the 12 regular season games, it is so painfully clear that he is. And this chart does just a fantastic job of clearly laying it out, and we'll start to break it down. But there is no doubt. I don't know if he's going to win the Heisman, but after you see this, and I know many, I'm preaching to the choir here, right? This is a very biased crowd that's going to agree with most everything I'm saying anyway. And so I will try to pontificate and bring these crowds to, or bring this chart to other crowds that we have and, spread the good word, to evangelize the good word of JD5. But I mean, you look at the numbers and it's just not even close. What do you do when a person has accounted for 1,000 more yards than each of his counterparts? And you're like, okay, well, what about touchdowns? Well, yeah, no, I mean, 50 touchdowns to 35 to 43. It's not even close. He had a nice even 50 on the year. How about that? Jake, when you look at this, how do you think we should break this down? Do you want to go stat by stat? Do you want to go by what jumps out the most to you? What do you think the best avenue here is?
Yeah, and I think for me, there's a couple of things that jump out for Jayden Daniels. And as we're looking at it, passing yards, these guys are pretty much dead even. 3,800, yep. 3,900, 3,900. But when you go to rushing yards, Jayden Daniels, 1,100. Michael Penix Jr., -14 rushing yards, because in college football, for whatever reason, they take sack yardage off your rushing total. And then Bo Nix has 159. So even basically across the board in passing yards, all within 100 yards of each other. And then that's the rushing total. So the total yardage, that probably stands out to me as much as anything. You're talking about Jayden Daniels right at 5,000 yards, 49.46. And then Michael Penix, 38.85. Bo Nix, 4,000. You said it, T. Almost 1,000 yards in total offense, more than the next guy. And so if you want to win the Heisman, if you want to be in consideration, if you have those 3 losses, you have to have stats like this. You mentioned it. You have to be the outlier. It can't be close. And it's not close. The only stat that Jayden Daniels ends up winning right now is completion percentage, where Bo Nix has 78%. Jayden Daniels has 72%. Now, 72% is really, really good. In the adjusted completion percentage, Bo Nix, shout out to him, 85%. That's an incredible number. Jayden Daniels is at 79%. There's no other metric that Jayden Daniels is not winning. Yards per play, passer rating, QBR, rushing yards per attempt, total touchdowns. Just go across the board. NFL passer rating, plays of 20-plus yards. The fact that he has 90 and the next closest guy is 62.
Yeah.
That actually might be the one.
Cody Worsham laid it all out. He looked at I don't know, maybe like the last 10 years of college football, something along those lines, and looked at where that would rank among teams. And it was like top 5 every year. It was number 1 a few years, 2, 3. Again, just Jayden Daniels, and where his 20-yard plays would rank among teams. I think even in I don't want to misspeak, but even against something like the 2020 Alabama offense, he was either ahead of them or right with them.
Jayden Daniels would lead the last 11 Heisman winning quarterbacks in passer rating. He's at 208. Yards per attempt, again, this is just a banana stats, 11.7 yards per attempt. Not per completion, per attempt. Every time he throws a football, it's a first down and then some. Adjusted yards per attempt, 13.6. Yards per carry, 8.4. Total yards per play, 10.7. So every play that he's been in there, 10.7 yards. Yards per game, 412.2.
So he would lead the last
11 Heisman Trophy winners, quarterbacks in those stats.
I mean, and this is against a harder schedule than his two competitors for the award this year played. It's not even close. Okay, like you're going to tell me Jayden Daniels is 1-3 against top 10 teams on the road. Okay, Bo Nix is 0-1. You know, he got one opportunity and he failed. And the difference is Jayden Daniels didn't lose you any of those games. Bo Nix actively lost you the Washington game. He spiked the pass right before on 3rd and goal right before half. He didn't get the 4th down conversion at the end of the game that his coach trusted him to get. Like say what you will, but Bo Nix had a defense in that Oregon-Washington game that put him in a position to win, and the offense failed to make the plays. You cannot say that for any LSU game this year. But again, this is a level of nuance that people are not going to want to engage with.
Now, if we go back to a year ago, you had kind of a similar situation where Caleb Williams, like, he was the outlier with his stats. Now, they had a really good year, and they played in their conference championship game.
Yeah.
But Max Duggan in TCU, Max Duggan was kind of Bo Nix.
Mm-hmm.
And Max Duggan, you know, he was there in New York, and he received some votes. Now, didn't win the Heisman. And so last year, you had kind of a similar situation where what Caleb Williams did individually won him the award, and Max Duggan was kind of the best player on the best team situation, which is like kind of Bo Nix territory right now. So last year, you know, the guy who went out there and had the crazy stats won the Heisman.
That's kind of funny. Bo Nix has over 1,000 times more rushing yards than Penix, and about 10 times more than Bo Nix. And okay, so here's what's interesting. If you're looking at the chart, basically everything that the person leads in is highlighted green, right? So it's almost a wall of green for Jayden Daniels. And then on completion percentage, that's where Bo Nix has it, like you said. Jayden at 72, Nix at 78. Well, where that gets interesting then, Michael Penix is the lowest in that regard. He's at 65%. Well, the only thing that Penix leads in is average distance of target and big-time throws. Well, so like that. Okay, so the correlation here makes sense, right? Penix has the lowest completion percentage because he is going for the biggest throws. But where it gets interesting is that Jayden Daniels being in the middle of the both gives you the best of both worlds. Like, what is the argument against Bo Nix this year compared to someone like Jayden Daniels? Is that it has been a lot more dump-offs, a lot shorter screen action, a lot of yards after catch, leading to that 78% completion percentage. And this backs it up. Michael Penix leads at 3 with an average distance of target of 11 yards. Okay, that's deep. That's going for it. Jayden Daniels is right behind him at 10. Bo Nix is all the way down at 7. So, of course, Bo Nix is leading in completion percentage. He's not taking the risks. Michael Penix has 30 big-time throws. Jayden Daniels has 29. Bo Nix has 17. And so even though he doesn't lead in completion percentage or this average distance, Jayden is actually still the most impressive of the three because when you combine them, he's nipping on the heels of both. Like, you shouldn't have that many big-time throws. You shouldn't have an average distance to target of 10 yards or more and still be completing 72% of your passes. So even when he's not winning on this chart, he actually is if you look at it as a whole.
Yeah, and the more that we just continue to go down this list, like, I just continue to find more impressive stats. And another one that's going to jump out at you, okay? Rushing yards after contact. Jayden Daniels has 518 rushing yards after contact.
Damn, half of his yards.
Michael Penix has 24. Bo Nix has 75. How about this? Missed tackles forced. Jayden Daniels, 47. Michael Penix, 1. Bo Nix, 2.
I mean, bro.
47 times he has forced a missed tackle. The other two, and look, you're like older quarterbacks. Well, yeah, the whole argument is Jayden Daniels has the same passing stats and even better in a lot of categories, and then you throw this on top of it.
I mean, yards per play. Jayden Daniels at 10.7. Penix at 8.6. Nick's at 9. Passer rating, the college version. Jayden Daniels, again, the only player in the country over 200 at 208. Penix not even close at 163. Nick's not even close at 189. QBR, the much, much, much tougher grading metric that ESPN and others have adopted that is more NFL-based. And again, this shows you that they don't like how safe Bo Nix plays it. QBR, Jayden Daniels, I've never seen a QBR this high. 95.6. No. Michael Penix, 91.1. Bo Nix, 82. 82.8. Check down Charlie. And then I think this is one of the most badass things I've ever read. NFL passer rating on throws of 20 yards or more. Jayden Daniels, an NFL passer rating of 146. Michael Penix, 102. Bo Nix, 127. And make no mistake, if you talk to NFL scouts right now, it is Caleb Williams, Drake May, and then Jayden Daniels. Like, Bo Nix is not going to be drafted over him. Michael Penix is not going to be drafted over him. Carson Beck would maybe be interesting if he decides to come out. I'd be interested to see where that shook out. But, like, Jayden Daniels is the better college football player. He's the better NFL prospect, and he deserves to win the Heisman Trophy.
So what you're saying is Bo Nix checked down Charlie, better yet, before the sticks Nix?
Before the sticks Nix, yes. There we go. Exactly. Exactly, dude. Also, strength of schedule. And there's a million ways of doing strength of schedule, but every way you do it will generally spit out this same gap. LSU strength of schedule 7th, Michael Penix 46th, Oregon's 62nd. Bruh.
And that is one thing that whenever I see kind of this conversation on Twitter, a lot of fans of Oregon or Washington, whoever, talk about, oh, well, Jayden padded his stats against Grambling and Army in Georgia State. Actually, that's just not knowing the schedule.
No, I mean, also,
you take all of that away, and the numbers are still the numbers.
Well, what pisses me off, Jake, is, you know me, I love CFBstats.com.
Yep.
And they have a million different ways that you can filter.
Yep.
You can do against Power 5 teams only, against FBS teams only, against ranked teams on the road, ranked teams at home. And anyway, I've done it. Any way you filter it, Daniel still leads them in all the categories we're talking about. So, no, it is a completely ignorant take to say that they padded stats against lesser teams because it's just not true. Yeah, like it's just factually, numerically not true. So here's to hoping this can somehow break through. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't think Penix has a chance.
It feels like right now, if you're looking at Vegas,
yeah,
it does feel like it's turned into a two-man race. You're going to have probably 3 in New York. I'd be surprised if there's a 4th. Now, Penix could go out there in the Pac-12 championship game, and he could, have a historic night. Bo Nix could be bad.
Which would be great,
and maybe,
because I still don't think he's winning it.
Right, and maybe that changes. Now, I will say this. Like, we got the email yesterday. The ballots are open now. You can fill your ballot out right now. You can turn it in. Some people do it. A lot of people like to wait until conference championship games are completed because we actually have until Monday to submit it. So depending on, when somebody submits that, nothing in the Pac-12 championship game could change their mind potentially if they go ahead and they submit that ballot. But now it is open.
Yeah. Yeah. The problem is the people that would vote early, their minds are already made up, right?
Yeah.
So the people on the fence are probably going to wait till that Pac-12 championship game and then make their decision.
And I understand.
I think is flawed because
I understand waiting if you want to, if you're on the fence and you want to see, one last time, good or bad.
That's what I'm saying, but I just don't think there's anything to be on the fence about, And I know I'm biased here, but this is just. I mean, this is these numbers. There's just simply no argument. There's just simply no argument. Again, Bo Nix lost. The only time he played a good team, and his defense only allowed, what, 36, 33?
36.
36.
It was 36-33, yeah.
Freaking Chris Hilton, dude. Catch that ball in Oxford. Anyway. Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU.